Hi everybody, Lisa Guerrero here coming from my office in Los Angeles, and I wanted to share a video today that's really meaningful to me, and I've been thinking about doing this for 24 hours and I've decided it's the right thing to do and I want to do it, so I'm going to do it. Many of you may know that I just signed a book deal with Hachette Publishing for my inspirational memoir. It's called Warrior, A Journey of Little and Big Acts of Bravery. And it's going to be out, we hope, in January of 2023. My manuscript is due the end of the year, and I'm really excited about it. And believe it or not, producers actually want to make it into a TV series based on my life. So I'm totally overwhelmed by this news, and I'm really excited to finally get this book to you. But while researching the book, I came across a treasure trove of videos from my sportscasting days, starting in the early 90s, stretching out into 2003, when I was on a little show you may have heard of called Monday Night Football. And while I was on Monday Night Football, I struggled a lot. I had been a sportscaster for over a decade, had done huge sit-down interviews with big stars like Barry Bonds, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Mia Hamm, A-Rod, and I was really successful at Fox Sports Net as a sportscaster for over 10 years. And then I was hired by ABC's Monday Night Football along with John Madden and Al Michaels. This was a billboard, believe it or not. There was a big one up on Times Square in New York City when I got hired. So this was a big deal for me in my life back then, to be the sideline reporter from Monday Night Football. But I made a mistake on one of my first games, which I quickly corrected. But at that point, my critics were quick to jump on me, and they said I sucked and I was terrible and I was a former cheerleader and I didn't know football, and it really shook my confidence. So I struggled for that season on Monday Night Football. And in fact, I was fired after 1 year, and it led to a great deal of depression. And in fact, if you check out the description below, you can see an article that was written about that time in my life that was really difficult. The New York Post wrote about it this year. So you guys can click on that if you want to see more about how I dealt with my struggles back then. But one of the great things about doing this book is that I have been doing research into that part of my life, and I found a videotape of all of my reports from my final game as the sports sideline reporter for Monday Night Football. And I wanted to share it with you because it's the first time in 17 years that I watched my performance, because I was so hurt by the criticism that I took. And I was really happy with my performance. And I thought I did a really, not just good job, I thought I did a great job. This was the game where Brett Favre had just lost his dad tragically. His dad died the day before this game. And there was a lot of speculation as to whether or not he was even going to play. Not only did he play against the Raiders in Oakland that night, he had the game of his life. Threw 4 touchdowns in the first half. It was tremendous. And although he said he wouldn't do an interview at the end of the game, I talked him into it on the sidelines. And at the end of the game, I got a really touching interview with him that we weren't expected to get. And that was my last regular season game for Monday Night Football. And that was the end of my sportscasting career. It's been painful to think about that time in my life, but for the first time ever, I looked at that tape, and it makes me sad to think that for 17 years, I thought I wasn't good at that job because the critics said I wasn't good, but I was good. So I wanted to show it to you, because when you feel bullied and you feel like you're doing something that nobody understands, and that you are good at what you do, and you are worthy of being treated with respect, you are. And just because there are people out there that are trying to bring you down, that doesn't mean you should let yourself get dragged down. Do not. It gets better. Believe me. So go ahead and take a look at my very last, all my last reports. I didn't cut a thing. This was every single one of my reports from my final game on Monday Night Football. Check it out.
His career. Al Michaels with John Madden and Lisa Guerrero. Welcome to Oakland, where the overriding story took place yesterday afternoon in Mississippi when Brett Favre's father, Irv, drove off the road and died, apparently of a massive heart attack. And then, cruel as it is, Brett Favre had to make a decision. Does he play tonight or doesn't he play tonight? He has chosen to play. He will start. As you know, he has not missed a start in over 11 years. He is in the lineup, and for more particulars right now, let's go down to the field and Lisa.
Thanks, Al. At 4:30 p.m. Pacific time yesterday, Brett Favre was hanging out with backup quarterback Doug Peterson when Peterson received a phone call on his cell phone from Deanna Favre, Brett's wife, telling him that Irv Favre, Brett's father, had died suddenly in Kill, Mississippi. It was Peterson who broke the news to Favre. Favre then went immediately back to the team hotel to meet with Coach Mike Sherman, who said to him, "I'm going to leave that decision as to whether or not you're going to play up to you." Brett said, "I want to play," something that he reiterated to his teammates in a very emotional meeting later on that night. Meanwhile, Deanna Favre flew in at 3:30 a.m. She's here in Oakland. She's here at the stadium tonight. Funeral services for Irv Favre will be held near Kill, Mississippi on Wednesday. He was 58 years old.
John, he's been an Iron Man, 44, 2nd and 3. Let's check in with Lisa.
Well, Al, before the game, I talked to Mike Sherman and Doug Peterson about the meeting that Brett Favre called with the rest of his teammates last night. It was a very emotional team meeting. He said that he talked about his love for his father, his love for football, and his love for his teammates. He said that he had made a commitment to the Packers at the beginning of the season, and that is why he chose to play in this game tonight, because he had that commitment to this organization.
Well, we've said it for years. He's an extraordinary player, obviously. We're checking again with Lisa.
Well, Al, I spoke with Al Davis before the game and asked him specifically about the future of both Tim Brown and Jerry Rice. I told him, hey, I sat down with both of these players over the weekend. They both said on camera that they wanted to return to the Raiders next year. Now, although he wouldn't commit to their futures either way, he did tell me that that was, quote, great to hear. He also said that although this year has been a disappointment, the winter of discontent, he called it, he said things will turn around next year.
3rd down and 5. And let's check in with Lisa, 19-yard gain.
Well, Al, at halftime, I asked Bill Callahan, how do you even begin to try and stop Brett Favre in the second half? He said, Lisa, I have absolutely no idea. We've been trying to get cornerback Phillip Buchanan some help. I think we have to some degree, but Brett Favre has been outstanding, simply outstanding. Meanwhile, when I asked Coach Sherman about the performance of his receiving corps that first half, he said, hey, they are stepping up because they have a lot of love for their quarterback. They're proving it tonight. He also said that Brett is as focused right now as he has ever seen him, Al.
It's unbelievable. They've given Buchanan help. He picks up a hard yard to the 21, and we go to Lisa.
Well, if you're a red-blooded American male, all kinds of images probably come to mind when you hear the word Raiderette. I bet one of those images is not grandmother, but think again. Kathy Farron, 41 years old, was originally a Raiderette in 1986. Then she took time off to raise her daughter, Kara. And this season, after a 17-year layoff, she tried out and made the squad again. Her daughter's now 20 and gave birth 7 weeks ago to a baby girl, Mackenzie, giving Grandma Kathy something to cheer about.
Grammy. Johnson takes off. Goes to the 36-yard line. Marcus Anderson makes the tackle. And there she is, Grandma Kathy. Catch by O.J. Santiago. Let's check in with Lisa.
Well, Al, as you know, 3 weeks ago, Packers running back coach Sylvester Crew made history when he was named the first black head coach in the SEC for Mississippi State. But actually, this is not the first time he's been a pioneer. He was in the first racially integrated class of Tuscaloosa High School in 1968. He was one of the first black football players for Bear Bryant at Alabama. And by his senior year, he was voted team captain, a true trailblazer, Al.
And our horse trailer on its way to our wild card game. Brett Favre, who is on the field with Lisa. Lisa?
Thanks very much, Al. It's one thing to play with a broken thumb, and it's another thing altogether to play with a broken heart. Can you tell me why you made the decision to play tonight, Brett?
Well, I knew my dad would want me to play, and you know, I love him so much and love this game, and it's meant a great deal to me, to my dad, and to my family, and I didn't expect this type of performance, but I know he was watching tonight.
We've talked throughout the night about your father. Can you describe what kind of a man he was?
Well, he meant a great deal to me. I mean, I loved him dearly, and I got 2 brothers and a sister, and I know they feel the same way. And I mean, he coached me growing up in baseball and football, and coached my brothers, and you know, I don't wish it upon anyone.
On behalf of ABC, we'd like to extend our condolences to you and your family, Brett. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
John, we know how strong he is.
Okay, what'd you think? Brett Favre was amazing. I still, to this day, can't believe he gave me that interview at the end of the game. It was such an incredible performance that he had. And the fact that he shared a couple minutes afterwards to sum up his feelings was really tremendous. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you. It's been an incredible journey. I'm excited to write all about all of my adventures in sports, in acting, in investigative reporting, chasing the bad guys like I do today. So I'm going to end this video with a smile, even though I was a little emotional earlier, because, you know, that's something in my life that really affected me negatively. And I let it get to me, and I shouldn't have. And so this is a lesson to you. You're not alone. There are people out there. If you are struggling, talk to somebody. Please reach out to somebody so that you can share your frustration. I didn't have anybody at the time I was struggling with that, but finally I went to my dad a few months later, and he helped me get through it. So I want you to consider reaching out to somebody as well in your life that can help you get through a difficulty, whether it's with a career or whether it's with a relationship or at school, whatever it is. Make sure you talk to somebody. I'm here for you too. Thank you for watching my video. Make sure to subscribe and share and all that good stuff. And in the meantime, have a great rest of your day.